A very good morning to you. Welcome to the Morning Brief right here on Channels Television. I'm Jeffrey Ozan. It's a brand new day, Tuesday, 28th of April. 2 more days to the end of the month, right? Wow.
The end of the best month in the world. Well,
boy.
It's a bright and beautiful Tuesday in the month of April. Welcome to the Morning Brief right here on Channels Television. I am Bukola Koka.
Where did they hold the award ceremony and they crowned April the best month in the world? But hey, I'm Kaidoki.
You get it.
Good morning. I totally get it. Some months are special to us than others, and it's natural because for some people it's their birth month. But you know, we're not starting on the happiest note today. If you take a look at the news, whether you look to Adamawa or Katsina or Kwara, it's still tales of insecurity. And we'll just start right off in Adamawa State. It's the aftermath of a killing of no fewer than 29 persons in two communities called Guyaku and Telabala. They are both in Gombe local government area of the state. So it was during a football match on Sunday, and we understand that gunmen invaded the community's primary school at about 5 p.m., shooting and prompting residents to flee to safer locations. The attack came about a week, actually, after a similar incident in Hong local government area of the state. Religious buildings were set ablaze, and it's just really sad that, I mean, looking at the images, seeing the people weeping, mourning their loved ones. It's really sad.
Indeed, and the heavy silence, momentary one though, is a testament to how sad it is. And, you know, from the images obtained yesterday, we also saw residents mourning the loss of their loved ones overnight. And we've seen that, you know, this is coming just 1 week after a similar attack in Mayo Belwa area of Adamawa State, the same Adamawa State. And, you know, not long before that time, perhaps some months back, gunmen also attacked and wreaked havoc in the governor's hometown in another part of Adamawa State. So Adamawa has been at the receiving end of constant attacks. It appears, you know, is a similar trajectory to Borno that had experienced some respite over the last 5 years before a resurgence of attacks, you know, in that part of the northeast. Adamawa is also one of the northeastern states that had been, you know, constantly attacked at the peak of the insurgency and then experienced some respite. But there's a return to, you know, the challenge of insecurity there at this particular point in time. Jeffrey had said on this, you know, table in the past, what is it like for Nigerians in the Northeast to sleep and wake up daily in uncertainty? It is can only be left to the imagination. How do they guard against, you know, attacks, or do they leave it to? Are they helpless in the face of lack of protection from the authorities? How do they wake up every day with the possibility that there may just be attacks today? Where do they hide? Do they have, you know, spaces in their roofs, in their ceilings? And why is there, you know, complacency in the all-important need to protect Nigerians in these areas where there are constant attacks? And it appears as if we have become desensitized, you know, as far as attacks in Nigeria's northeast is concerned. When it happens, we talk about it all the time, we call for protection, and then, you know, we go about our normal duties every day. It's really, really heartbreaking looking at these, you know, people in the northeast who are our brothers, who are our neighbors, but are helpless. And it is mere rhetoric and perfunctory duties for state governors to go visit areas where there have been attacks, but there is little that is done subsequently to protect these people. When are we going to move from this era of acceptance that this is, you know, the state of things in Nigeria's north and there's nothing that can be done about it? When will the fight of against insecurity assume a proactive stance rather than a reactive one? When will the security agents go after these terrorists and put an end to this madness, this darkness once and for all? Because these people have done absolutely nothing to warrant this attack. By the check, it's not a reprisal. Are there conflicts, skirmishes over land or other issues between these people and their neighbors? Well, there is no report yet to suggest that that is the case, at least in this particular part of Adamawa. So it's an unprovoked attack, and something needs to be done. There needs to be a change in strategy in the fight against insecurity, banditry, insurgency, and all forms of criminality in Nigeria's north, such that we exit this very dark period in our history. Jeffrey.
The ease with which people are killed, the ease with which people are abducted when these dastardly acts or these perpetrators of this crime do it is what is worrying. There's insecurity across the world, but the ease with which it happens in places like Nigeria is very concerning. I've said it time and again that I'm becoming very tired and exhausted from talking about people dying. We're not talking about numbers, we're talking about human souls, parents, children, neighbors, father, mother, children, wife, husband, uncles, aunts, grandmothers. We can go on so that it sinks in. And we're not doing enough as a country. This country, I don't know, has constantly failed a lot of these people, especially in the north. And so I'm curious to find out exactly when this electioneering season comes after these primaries. What will the governor and those senators in these places that are hotspots, what would they be telling the people exactly that should be the reason why they should vote for them? When the president visits places like Borno, Zamfara, and some of these hotbeds, Plateau, what will he be telling them as a reason for which they should cast their vote for him? So I'm putting it on the doorstep of the governors who may be seeking re-election, or their proxies who they have anointed or endorsed to seek election to replace them or succeed them. I'm talking about constituents, the people in the National or State Assembly who will be going to these places to ask for votes. And then more importantly, the president, who is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, who are also going to be seeking vote for re-election, especially in these very places that are considered hotspots of insecurity. I don't know. I'm waiting and watching. So when the president visits places like Benue, Plateau, Borno, Nasarawa, not Nasarawa, Zamfara, and some of these places that are really hotbeds, hotspots for insecurity, I want to hear what the leaders of those places, from the president to the governor to the members of the assemblies, whether national or state assembly, when they go down to constituency level, what will they be telling the people? Because if I live in those places, I will not vote for any of these classes of people. I will look for any alternative that I feel will do the work by my own assessment if I feel they have not done enough. But politics is fluid. Because the reason I say this is because Section 14, I always quote, and I say every child should know Section 14, even if you can't quote it verbatim, at least you should know what it says. That the primary responsibility of government is to protect lives and property. The security and welfare of the citizens is the primary responsibility of government. And then sovereignty belongs to the people. On this, from the president down to the governors to everybody in the chain. Now, I'm not going to put everything on the president's head. We have all failed the people. And I will continue to ask that question. I don't know how they survive. I don't know how they live. I don't know how they do their... I don't even understand how people in certain parts of the north live their life. Whether they've normalized this thing, I do not know. And Bukola and Kayode, I also have a lot of blame to the leadership, the northern Nigeria leadership. You also need to share in the responsibility of the inability of you who are the elites of the north to be able to sit down and try. If somebody is not solving your problem, solve your problem. I'm not supporting militancy in the Niger Delta, but when the Niger Delta felt cheated, they decided to take arms and say, oh, now, arms is not the way to go. Let's be clear. But certain action brought the attention of government to them saying we need to manage our resources, or our resources, we're being exploited, we're not getting any gain from it. So let's be clear, nobody supports bearing arms. But I don't think, guys, I've seen enough from northern leaders. I mean, when I say northern leaders, the elites, the governors, the senators, the members of the National Assembly, the State Assembly, showing anger and showing action. All I see is summits, and their leaders read speeches. They go to Kaduna, they do one summit, they come with a resolution and they read speech. They go to Gombe, they do one summit, they read speech. Speech, speech, speech. People are dying. So if the nation as a whole is not helping you enough, because the military are trying, they have all these operation theaters in the north. What are you doing as leaders of the north to ensure that you protect your own people? What extra demands are you making on the president, who I'm sure will be willing to, fulfill those demands because he doesn't want an unsafe society? But I blame this on the president. I also blame this especially on leaders of the north, because I know, for instance, Guy, if insecurity starts in this Lagos, God forbid, action will be taken. Action will be taken. Nobody's going to sit. There will be meetings. There will be serious action. So everybody has to take the blame. Everybody has to take the blame, not just the president on this one.
And wherever you turn, you find one story or the other, whether it's in Katsina State, where 11 people were killed, add that to the 29, that is 40, or you go to, by the way, Katsina is in northwest, right?
Northwest, yeah.
You go to the north central in Benue State, where...
Benue and Plateau.
Yeah, Benue and Plateau, particularly Plateau, thank you, where a pastor and 3 members of his immediate family were killed. So add to that, so the 40, that's 44. And we're seeing a targeting, especially in that Adamawa community. You saw the burnt church, the keyboard, the drums and all of that, in Plateau State as well. And the attack in Adamawa State, I mean, it's been claimed by, what do you call them, ISIL or ISWAP, and they were clear and direct in their statement, saying that they killed Christians, they burnt the church, and this is something that is done in such brazen manner. In fact, if you go to Kwara State, north central Nigeria, again, the terrorists have threatened to either marry off the victims who've been abducted for months now, or kill the weaker ones. And they're blaming government. The terrorists are blaming government for being unserious in this whole process. And you just wonder what exactly goes through the minds of those in government, and I'm talking at different levels, as we've said time and again. What exactly goes through their minds? Are they helpless? Is there something they're not telling us? Is this the kind of governance they promised the people? Certainly not what the people expected when they were casting their votes for them. So if they are not awake at this time, they must wake up, because security, at least in those parts, is not what it should be. But politics is ongoing. It's almost like politics does not care whether there's insecurity, whether there's biting, economic hardship. The politics goes on. Now we've seen political actors continue with their visits or endorsements, as the case may be. We saw Mr. Peter Obi visiting former President Goodluck Jonathan in the midst of, at least in company of Southeast leaders. But that meeting held behind closed doors, as they always say. And just right after the meeting, the former governor of Anambra State and former presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, said that the visit was part of ongoing consultations ahead of the 2027 elections. So that meeting happened. Definitely, it is tied to the elections, as has been said. And I really look forward to when both the president and other candidates who want to take that top job will begin to speak about, the real issues, insecurity. First, the president, how you've performed. Why didn't you perform so well in these areas? Then for the candidates, what we think we can do better and how we think this government has failed. This is what people want to hear about. But hey, the meetings will go on. The campaigns will go on. The dancing will happen. But I hope the people are wise at this time.
Well, speaking of the people being wise, what is going to inform their choices, as far as picking a candidate, especially with their, constant advocacy this time around that the opposition must thrive? Would it be mere loyalties to a particular candidate because of their commitment to them, because of their track records, or because they are on the payroll of the candidate, or is it because of the real issues? And what are the real issues? We've outlined them: insecurity, the state of our economy, the state of our health sector, the state of our education sector. Just days ago we had a conversation with the Nigerian Union of Teachers, it's a representative from the Federal Capital Territory, where there's an ongoing strike over non-payment of salaries and other allowances, that have accumulated over a period of time. And so this is the time for Nigerians to now begin to scrutinize the candidates that are up for election, the aspirants, and what they're saying about what they have to offer Nigerians in 2027, whether to continue with the administration, if they're satisfied with what we're seeing on ground, or whether to choose, from a list of aspirants in the opposition. And what is the track record of the list of aspirants in the opposition? What are the opposition aspirants saying about the current challenges? Is it just about campaigns and the politicking, or are they raising real issues? I believe there is no better time than now for Nigerians to show commitment to the electoral process, especially through education and awareness of the real issues, rather than going ahead into the elections without, that resolve to making an informed decision about the candidates to cast their vote for. That is very critical, especially at this point in time. I'm looking forward to a 2027 elections where more Nigerians will make informed decision and shun the sale of their votes.
We hope
that's the possibility.
No, people still, it's not a perfect situation. I lower my expectations in certain things. You don't, else you just be naive. You've been around, you've seen all these things. So we hope that Nigerians will be able to make right choices. So if there are leaders, maybe in the subnational, who are doing things that, serve the people, you keep them. If there are those who are not serving the people, you take them out. If in your view President Bola Tinubu has done well, please, by all means, make sure he returns. If you feel he hasn't done well, please, kick him out, get someone else. But it's not just about getting someone else. Make sure you know whether that person can offer something better. So guys, I'm waiting for May 30th. In fact, not May. How many days has May? 30 days. Okay. I think it's yes. Right? I think it's 31. It's 31. 31. So I'm waiting for May 31, where we will know who is what, at least in terms of who is going to be presidential candidates of each. APC we already know, and then other parties, governors and all of that. So then we'll begin to ask the real questions before, because now everybody is trying to survive. The opposition is saying, look, these APC people, they are chasing us, so we are tactically maneuvering. So we'll get to be clear at the end of the day who is going to be vying for what position, and then we can put the questions. And guys, the questions are not difficult. The questions are not difficult. Life is very tough for Nigerians right now. The cost of living is very high. People are struggling. People are striving to survive. And the president acknowledges that. And he keeps coming out to appeal to the people, said, I am aware that this is a consequence, this will be the consequence of my action. But trust me, what I'm doing is for the betterment of the country tomorrow, not for today. So you'll be the one that will bear the brunt so that your children can enjoy. That is his position. Although his handlers will come and say something different, sometimes I just listen to them, I laugh. Then, on the other hand, if Nigerians feel that, okay, we can't bear, and there's somebody else they want to bring, I want to know what that person they are bringing would do differently. Are you going to bring back subsidy? How would you manage the FX market? How would you manage PMS? How would you manage the funds that accrue from subsidy? How are you going to block leakages? How are you going to generate revenue? Because revenue is a very big problem in our country. People don't seem to understand that we have a revenue.
How are we going to move our budget away from being loan funded to generating revenue without killing the economy?
Then the big one, security. I don't want to hear we'll put ground forces. All those things, Bola Tinubu president said it. In fact, the president said, I think that's when he made the Agbado statement. Say, look, hire them, more like to revamp the economy. He was saying, have as many people in the military as possible, feed them. That way the money goes around. We have not seen that to today. He even promised of a group. There's a group that's supposed to be anti-terrorism something. Yeah. I've forgotten the name. I used to memorize
like
it.
Guards of sorts. Yeah.
Yeah, some specialized group like our own kind of Navy SEAL that just specialize on anti-terrorism. So I still have the 80-page document, which we're going to probe, or we're going to ask questions on. Some he has done, some he hasn't done. So when Nigerians are shouting, oh, Bola Tinubu is this, Bola Tinubu, the person who is coming, we need to hear alternative ideas. I even want to hear a leader say, I will bring back subsidy. But that will not impress me. Because subsidy brought us almost to our knees in terms of our economy. How would you be able to pay subsidy and still run the economy? Mm-hmm. It's not just exciting.
And not print money from the CBN to fund the budget.
You know, so there are big questions. We as journalists, we have our questions ready for the president and his people. We have our questions ready for the alternative and their people. So you better come ready. Nobody's going to bully you. Nobody's going to intimidate you. But if you're not ready to have answers to questions, please don't come, because we're going to ask you very tough questions, because the lives of Nigerians, we have a responsibility to hold you accountable for what you do with the resources, or what you intend to do with the resources on behalf of the Nigerian people. Guys.
As a matter of fact, Jeffrey and Kadi, perhaps we should double down on this proposal, and we should make a difference in our electioneering campaign. We know more than ever before that vote buying shapes our election, and that's how elections are often rigged. And more often than not, we see the EFCC, we see the police out on election day. Some arrests are made. But is there any prosecution? Have you seen any prosecution so far? Has any political party been named and shamed for vote buying? So perhaps Nigerians should go to this election. If you do not collect the 10,000, the 20,000 naira given you to buy your votes, to sell your voter card, why don't you go into this election shunning that particular sum and then voting your conscience? And then let's see, how the elections will pan out, and if indeed we can ever record a free and fair election without a resort to the court. It just might make all the difference if we go into this election with that mindset that I'm not going to sell my vote, I'm going to vote my conscience, and I'm going to protect my vote and make it difficult for the establishment to rig. It should make all the difference.
There you go. So something interesting is playing out in Lagos, and well, there had been lots of permutations. Who's going to be the next governor of Lagos State? I mean, some even suggested it could be the president's son, right? But the governor himself, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has now endorsed his deputy, Obafemi Kadri Hamzat, as the next candidate to vie for the election, who becomes governor of Lagos State. So it's not like we're already getting to the answer before the exam has been conducted, right? Because there's still going to be a party primary process. Well, that is internal. But the one where Lagosians then get to choose is the governorship election itself, and then they decide whether it will be him or not. But at least for the governor and a lot of other party leaders, that's the APC, they have said it's going to be Kadri Hamzat for them. So, any surprises here?
Certainly not.
Maybe let's take a listen to the track, and then we'll be back for our comments.
Finished a visit to the State House by Mr. Deputy Governor, who had come with a very powerful delegation of our leaders in the states. You can see all of them, some GAC members, some former senators, former minister, former this, former that. And the whole purpose was to formally inform Mr. Governor of his intention to contest for the seat of the governorship position of the state. His consultation that we're doing, it was unanimous with all of us in that room to say that Mr. Deputy Governor is a man that is fit, ready for this job. He's a man that knows where all the rooms in the house are built. He's a man that has worked with me with all sense of humility. And so I feel personally, on behalf of my wife and everything that I stand for, truly, really honored and privileged that he had given me this honor to inform me and to use the opportunity to thank our father, our leader, Mr. President, who saw the vision 8 years ago to say that, Mr. Governor, Mr. Deputy, both of you, I see you on the long run. And that long run is what is already being manifested here today. This is a deputy governor that is worth a governor from day one. And we thank God that he's taking the hard leadership now. And we can only pray for him, wish him well, and let Lagosians be aware that indeed this is a man that has been built for this job, that has worked, and we believe that he deserves, to be given a chance to go and run this state and lead this state at this point in time.
Well, no surprises, Bukola, for me. I've known a lot of things way back before now. And again, someone is a gentle governor, someone is a very gentleman. If you met him, he's a very simple, easygoing guy. But when it comes to Lagos, when I read, say, someone who endorses, yes, of course, he really may not really have a choice because, the president is the Jagaban of Lagos politics. So where the president points to, since he left office, if he points in the direction of Babatunde Fashola, everybody has to go there. If he points in the direction of Akinwumi Ambode, everybody has to go there. When he pointed in the direction of Babajide Sanwo-Olu, everybody had to follow suit. And then he now pointed in the direction of Kadiri Hamzat, who is going to be the first, in this 1999 till today, we're going to be the first man to be deputy governor for that long, the longest serving deputy governor, who will now take over as governor if he wins the general election in 2027. So congratulations to him. And then the way Lagos politics is played, there are certain people, when you hear them speak, you know that the president has already given his go. So when I saw Gbajabiamila coming to Lagos, I was okay, because I remember when the trouble between Sanwo-Olu and Ambode started, one of the persons who came vocal and spoke endorsing Sanwo-Olu then was Femi Gbajabiamila. And so I saw Obasa, the speaker, I saw a couple of others, I think it was Falake, that started it in the first place. So this is the Justice Forum element of the APC, not the mandate group, because Hamzat's father played a cardinal role in bringing our now president into the forefront of Lagos politics in terms of helping him to win. So it's now to dig and find out exactly what kind of governor, if he wins, will Kadiri Hamzat. He's been eyeing this for a very long time. He had to step down for people in the past. So this has been in the works for a very, very long time for him. So I'm sure he's elated. But where I'm going to with all of this, Governor Sanwo-Olu really didn't have a choice. He just had to endorse it.
Well, they seem to have worked well in the last 8 years. Well. It appears as if they've had a very good relationship, and the deputy governor has been, pretty much loyal. And some would even say, if you read some commentaries, that, he's been a very patient man because he was tipped by a certain former governor of Lagos State, former Governor Babatunde Fashola, to succeed him, but that didn't go well. If you recall the circumstances surrounding choosing a successor, the disagreement over whether or not it would be Mr. Ambode that would be picked, and then he waited it out. He was former commissioner, by the way, under the current president when he was governor of Lagos State. He was commissioner of works also under former Governor Babatunde Fashola, and so he's been there. And his father also served in the government in Lagos, and of course a senator. So Jeffrey, you have that history right as well. So it appears as if the ground has been well laid for Deputy Governor Kadiri Hamzat to take over. That's if everything runs well and indeed he wins, but some would say that the APC has held sway in Lagos State for some time, and then it's just a smooth sail for the party to win the election in 2027. But we will see how it all goes. I'm wondering if the reported frosty relationship between the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and the president will have no effect whatsoever on his choice to endorse Obafemi Kadri Hamzat as his successor. Hence the visit of the deputy governor to the chief of staff in recent times. And we know that the chief of staff, of course, has the ears of the president. But of course, 2027 and of course the coming months will be interesting as we see things play out in Lagos State.
Yeah.
We'll be here to report it.
All right. So let's take a look at...
when is he going to run for office? I'm going to vote for you.
I'm running for office already.
Office. You're from Ogun State, right? Go to Ogun State, go and run for office. I'll support you.
Vote for me. Free news for
I'll vote for you. I'll get a polling unit there and come and vote for you for it.
You will?
Yeah.
How touching.
Yeah, I've known you, so...
That's really kind. We'll take a moment now. We'll talk politics behind the scenes. We'll be back to show you how the front pages are reporting the story. Stay with us.